You only need a parachute if you plan on jumping twice. That was one of the first things I learned in pilot training school. And I can tell you, I've jumped more than twice. In life, in work, in love, and yes, sometimes into things I should have thought twice about, like owning a restaurant after a few drinks with friends. Spoiler alert, Michelin stars aren't awarded based on passion alone, but today isn't about regrets, it's about lessons. And I want to share with you the ones that shaped how I work, live, and lead, especially with a crew like eCxO. Lesson 1, always check before you launch. Whether in a cockpit or a boardroom, you better check your list before you hit the gas. Race car driving taught me that a pro in a beat-up Hugo can outperform a rookie in a Ferrari. It's not always about the tools, it's about the skill, the mindset, and knowing when to stop. Lesson 2, the vehicle changes, but the destination doesn't. I once owned a Cadillac at 20, a BMW at 23, a Mustang by 31, and a PT Cruiser at 38. Now, I ride a bicycle. Not because I downgraded, but because life recalibrates you. Marriage did that, so did kids, so did budget cuts. But every shift brought clarity. Lesson 3, don't follow the crowd if they're running toward a bad idea. Wrestling landed me in the New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame, but that's not the point. The real lesson? You can't win by mimicking poor form. At eCxO, we've all seen what happens when departments blindly follow industry best practices that don't actually work for us. Lesson 4, royalty fades, character. Doesn't I married into Yugoslav royalty? My brother married the daughter of a Maasai chief, but what I learned is this: marry a good queen. Status means nothing if there's no wisdom or grace, and whatever you do, don't run out of booze at an African wedding of 3,000. Logistics matter. So does knowing when you're out of your depth. Lesson 5. If you're the last in line hunting tigers, good luck. Metaphorically speaking, don't be the person who gets stuck with the worst job because they didn't speak up. In this organization, stepping forward, with a thoughtful voice, is always better than disappearing into groupthink. Lesson 6. The restaurant of life requires more than just appetite. My restaurant made it into Air Canada magazine, but it also made it onto the list of David's humbling moments. Loving food and being good at cooking does not make you a restaurateur. Sometimes a great idea over drinks should stay over drinks. Lesson 7. Sail away from the pack. If your compass is true. In sailing, I learned that winning isn't always about hugging the fleet. Sometimes you've got to take a flyer, trust your gut, and veer off course. Innovation happens in those moments, not in safe harbors. Lesson 8. Build teams like hockey lines. I played junior B hockey. I wasn't always the best skater on the ice, but I understood this. A group of 5 players working as one will always outplay 5 solo acts. It's a lesson eCxO lives every day when we cross silos, align visions, and push past individual agendas for the greater good. Lesson 9. Public versus private, 2 different languages, same human lessons. Working across both sectors, I've learned, what works in one might crash in the other. But the constant is this: surround yourself with eagles, not pigeons. Sometimes you bite your lip, sometimes you speak truth to power, but always, treat everyone with dignity, because as you go up and down the ladder you meet the same people. Lesson 10, when in doubt, say I'm an idiot. Trust me, it ends arguments faster. My family taught me to check my ego at the door, and if your kids think you're clueless, just wait. They'll think you're a genius someday. Hang in there. Lesson 11, don't sweat the small stuff. Really, don't. My wife's family endured woe, hiding people from Nazis in Bassano del Grappa. One potato had to feed a family for a week. Cows peed in beer vats. People were hung from street lamps. That kind of history changes how you measure problems. Most of what stresses us isn't worth it. Final lesson. Adriana's gift. My daughter Adriana had CP, level 5 quadriplegia. Every day it took 2 hours to manage her care. It was exhausting. And it was the most profound teacher I've ever known. She taught me about grace, perseverance, and the quiet power of compassion. At 93 degrees Fahrenheit, in a hot tub that eased her pain, she reminded me of the real metric that matters. Not productivity, not KPIs, not dashboards, but human dignity. So to my friends, co-workers, and fellow changemakers at eCxO, we're all going to jump again. Sometimes with confidence, sometimes with fear. But my ask is this: pack your parachute, learn from your falls, laugh at your old cars, hug your team, and never, ever forget, compassion is the one thing we can give away that only grows in return. Thank you.